And he probably went to tell her that I'm crazy.
They always spin the story and you're the crazy person. The crazy, yeah.
If he went to go and tell people I have mental health problems, because that's what he did with his ex to me. She's got
I wonder
mental
why
health.
they do that.
So
though,
that you
like-
won't believe anything they tell you. So that like you feel sorry for them and all their shit doesn't come out. But I'm not a child.
I think it's easier
That's
to
a red
point out
flag.
because the other person has flaws than it is. That is a red flag for me. Like, why speak so badly about someone you once Jordan?
I don't even care.
Even if they were crazy.
I
like,
wouldn't even know anything.
Okay, so we back and we are talking about Umjolo again and my relationships. We spoke about a whole lot in the first episode, and now we just not the first episode, but the first parts, and now we just wanna just go deeper into this whole thing. And I'm interested in knowing about healthy relationships, how we can get into healthy relationships, and yeah, the whole enchilada. So what does a healthy relationship look like? Because we all know what an unhealthy one looks like.
Can I be honest? I do not know.
Like legit.
I legit. I've seen a few examples of a healthy relationship.
And what does it look like?
Well, it was a this is very controversial, but it was, I can't say who it was, but the husband and wife would be open when they got text messages and show who it is. And when the husband was taking appointments, he would let his wife know because he was a counselor. So he would tell his wife, and he could only do a counseling session, especially if it's with a single woman, if his wife knew about it before, and there'd have to be people around. The door would not be open, but the window, like there would be no
Like
curtains and
boundaries,
stuff.
yeah.
They just had really thingy boundaries.
Okay, I'm concerned about the text messaging thing. Like,
He said he didn't mind his wife checking to see, just so that you know you're not entertaining anything that your partner.
okay, like she can go through it. Hi, go see
Yeah.
Titi. Okay, look, we got a message.
No,
Yes.
no, no,
Okay.
no, no. Like they were very, and he said that for him, he did that because it created that thing of trust and openness. Because he could do the same with her phone. There are no passwords, nothing. A lot of people are going to tell privacy. If there's anything that you text about that I can't read, I don't have to
Then it's
check your phone.
shady.
Then it's shady.
So a healthy relationship has transparency, because I think that's transparency.
Transparency,
Because honesty
yes.
is when I ask you and you're like, okay, this is what happened. and
Yeah.
Transparency is just being able to share that
Yes.
without. Okay, what's your take?
Okay, that's one of the characteristics, if you'd like to call it that. But there's the honesty, there's the trust, which you mentioned, there's a sense of fairness or equality, if that's how like I can phrase it. There's support. There is. I'm trying to take this from my ideal.
Yeah, I can see. Like, it's your list criteria.
My ideal, like my check-off list, a relationship check-off list. So there's the like we're together, but I can still be a standalone
Myself, yeah.
person. And then we're friends above everything, because I mean looks and all of that eventually fade, but I mean if you can be open with this person, there's good communication, something good happens to me and you're the first person I actually want to tell. I've had a horrible day, you're still the person I actually want to come back and tell. So for me, like that's the skeleton of a healthy relationship.
Do healthy relationships happen overnight, or you guys grow into a healthy?
I think you have to have a healthy foundation. I think the foundation has to be healthy, and both of you have to be intentional about what you want. There has to be communication. Because if it starts off unhealthy, you're going to break each other. there's going to be, and if you want to change from an unhealthy to a healthy relationship, there's a lot of unlearning and learning that will have to take place, and both parties will have to want that. But usually the healthiest ones start off with an understanding of what are we doing here,
Yeah.
what is our goal as a couple,
Instead of
what are
just
we
going with the
building,
flow.
healthy foundation, healthy boundaries from the beginning, and respecting those. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I know we all Christian girls up in here, and someone asked something about if godly relationships work, like Christian relationships work, and I'm not sure. I haven't seen that many of them, but what's your take on what a godly relationship now is? Now that we know what a healthy one is, what's a godly?
First, most of those relationships are not godly relationships that you're
Being
looking
Christian
at.
doesn't mean
Are you for
So-
real?
I'm telling you, the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of people, especially older people, live for, but what will people say? It's all about what people will say. It's about maintaining an image. So what you're seeing is the image. You're not seeing the content
The stuff that's just
of
put
the
together.
relationship. You're seeing the Mrs. Who and a lot of women. It's just that Mrs. thing. That's it. But there's no relationship. I think a major thing with the relationship is that people get married and they forget to relationship
Yeah.
because
They
you're
forget
still
to date.
yeah
They
you
forget that they're
you're still
dating.
my boyfriend. I'm still your
Yeah.
girlfriend.
The
It just
title
becomes
changed.
whom, the children, who what responsibility,
Responsibilities.
who's dead, which funeral are we going to. You don't even have time to get to continuously know each other
Yeah.
and know yourself as well. You just get lost in programs. I think that's what happens.
But I think, or maybe I'm just a sucker for love. I don't know, but I feel they are godly relationships, and godly relationships do work. At the end of the day, relationships are work. A healthy relationship can have unhealthy characteristics as well, but it has to be two individuals who are constantly working towards maintaining their relationship. So that's, for me, I feel so long as, since it's a godly relationship, so long as we have one desire, which is seeking God. There's an example that they make usually when they do premarital counseling of a triangle. So there's God up top, and then there's you, and then there's your significant other. So long as both of you are constantly desiring the one at the top, there's no way that your paths will not eventually collide or meet and all of that. So long as that is your foundation, then I feel they do work. But then going back to what Tiwi said, most of the relationships that are there now are just for face. So you end up not knowing the difference. If is that actually still a godly relationship, or is it just face? Is it a relationship?
Okay. If we should base our expectations based on the godly relationships that we see or not, so is that just setting ourselves up?
Don't base anything. I feel like the church is doing a very poor job of talking to young singles about what they should be looking for. And another thing is a lot of the so-called people that are called to lead and speak to us are in toxic relationships. They bring in non-godly things like, oh sissy, you must just stay, that kind of rubbish. I don't want to hear that. Tell me about what I should be striving to be. We need more things that feed us as people. Like women, what should you be doing? What should you be looking for? Like a proper outline, like we get with when you give your life to Christ. These are the steps to becoming a Christian. You do this, that. I feel like there's no proper guide. And people are scared to talk about sex. They are scared to talk about things that they should be talking about. It's just hush hush. You have to go and find the information yourself. There's no proper guide, just judgment. And it's always Like that pastor that I so love in Manzini, who screams at women, telling us that because of our cleavage, we're going to
Who's
hell.
that pastor?
There's one in
I've
Manzini.
seen a look
We've
even
got
I'm
so many.
You know that one?
We've got
There's
so
about
many.
the one
Yeah, I
who we
know
saw
them, I
when
know
we
them,
met.
yeah.
That bully is as if someone's siklobo.
No, it's that kind of thing where you're condemning. You're saying,
Yeah.
you
I
don't
think
even.
he hates women.
The church doesn't even talk about sex at all.
At all, it's such a hush.
And that is such a big thing.
which is
Only
why,
telling you not to have it.
yeah,
not
and
buy
which
it.
is why I'm asking if godly relationships work, because most of us come from ungodly relationships. We get saved, now we want to do things the right way, and we're basing it on information we've had in the past. But no one is talking to us about how relationships in the church actually work.
In the African church, number one, in the Swazi church, because the thing is, in America, they've got a lot of information in relationship seminars. They do all of these things, but it applies in their context. What in our context works as a relationship? Is there anyone actually providing that service?
Yeah.
As a young Swati woman, what should you be looking? Because your context is different.
This is our environment.
This is your, and things are influenced by culture. They're influenced by a lot of things.
Definitely.
Culture definitely comes into the church,
Yeah.
and how they will teach you. They need to be proper teachings, classes, even get-togethers like young singles mingle.
Yeah,
Those kinds of things.
Because I
101,
mean, marriage
dating
is
too.
like the one thing where you get the certificate before actually graduating or like learning. Yeah, like yeah.
That's true though. Okay, which is very very interesting that we talk about the church and how they don't address some things. And I just want us to bust a myth right now about men in the church. Are men in the church a scam or are men in the church legit?
They're just men. They're just human beings. They're looking for the same thing. Either they're looking for women who are gullible, they're really looking to seek God, and they've got flaws. They've got things that they are also working on. And I feel
They're
that
human.
we should address that. Guys don't get to express themselves the way we do. They don't
Yeah.
get the platforms.
Yeah.
There are no safe spaces for them to address that. I'm really going through it. Like, I think last year there were just so many suicides of young men here because there was no space to
didn't actually
address that
talk
I'm
about
going through this, so take my life.
Yeah.
There's just no safe space where men can say that I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling. And the thing is, most of them you'll find they want to be good, they want to do good, but the friends that they have, there's no one to hold them, there's no friend like them, and they often get sucked up into things they don't really want to participate in. But that's the only social group or people that
So
they
they're
have.
just typical men in church,
They're
the
just
same
men
ones
in
outside.
church.
They're just men seeking God. And
Like the way you're seeking God, they could say the same thing about us.
they really could.
You
though.
know, they could say
They
the
have
same
so
thing.
I'm sure they've got
Like church
paragraphs to
girls.
talk about.
Not
women.
only church
Yeah,
girls,
just
because
women.
they could now bring out the whole modesty thing. You know, there's the whole argument about what is modesty and how you shouldn't carry yourself in certain ways. That what they could bring up a lot of things and throw it your way. Gossip, we know women love to gossip. There's so many things they could throw at us.
So we shouldn't have too many expectations of men in
Don't
church.
have expectations of anybody in life.
Yes, and I think another aspect, just being Christian, we have access to God. I think sometimes you just think that just because you meet someone in these four walls where we're worshiping and stuff, it means that you aligned or whatever.
Yeah.
But you must be consulting God. Like, God, is this the person I should be taking the next step with? And discernment or your gut, like your gut is always
Because
there.
we don't do that.
Yeah, we don't.
So, talking about consulting God and getting in on the whole thing before you jump in on it, what are my do's and don'ts of starting a new relationship? Apart from saying, God, is this worth my time? Like, what advice would you give someone who's...
Okay, my friend recently sent me links to some site called Moral Revolution. I think people should check it out. It's really good. So they were talking about, we always jump into intimacy before being able to see, like, if this person, if you're actually compatible with someone. So intimacy is not just like the physical stuff. It can also be like emotional, where it's just you two always, So I think for me, one lesson I took out is that if there's someone you're checking out, sometimes do it even in a group setting. Like, it shouldn't just be like yes, you'll have the dates where it's just one on one, but try not to get too deep too quick, because when you get deep with a person, like, all their troubles, everything, like the intimacy can confuse you and make you think, no, you guys actually going somewhere, yet you actually, you understand.